Hey everybody! I feel like I always sing when I come on. Y'all come on and join in the party. I'm so excited about tonight. So if you see me looking that way, of course there's my laptop, but super, super excited. We've got a treat tonight. Like, I'm super stoked. Super, super stoked. People are coming on. Let's see, who do we have? Angela. Hi, Angela. How are you? How are you? Jazz. Hello, everybody. So, so excited. Okay. Hi, Marquetti. Hello. Welcome to the live broadcast with Jada. Hey, Kelly. Hi. Out walking. And you know what? I need to work out with you. I really do. Hi, Jada. Okay, let me get you on.
This is so cool. Oh my God.
Yeah, there you
That's
are.
my face.
Yes. Hi.
Stephanie, hi.
Hi. How
Oh
are
my
you?
God. Look at you. You're so cute.
Thank you. Thank you. You are too.
Thank
You
you.
are
Nanny life,
too.
baseball cap, you know.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Angela Johnson, Crystal, Nanny Brokers here. Hi. I think I saw Kelly Gears on here. Hello.
Yes.
Oh, it's like Nanny Fam Bam. I wish we could all kind of, you know.
I know.
connect.
We need to do like a Google Hangout or something.
Seriously. Am
We
I
all
too
just...
loud?
No, you're fine.
Okay, because I'm loud. I'm like saving all the light that I can get right now because the sun is setting and my light bulb in my living room just went out, and this is the brightest part of my apartment.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm in my bedroom and I'm trying to get the rest of, like, I'm on the inside of my apartment, so
yeah,
hopefully it shows up.
You should see what my room is looking like. That'll tell you why I'm in here. Hi, Angela.
Okay, we'll give it another couple minutes and we will get started. Okay, there we are. Yay. Well, how was everybody's day?
Yeah, how was you guys' day today?
Just a good day. I worked from 10 to about 5 with my nanny boys. And
awesome. I worked from 6 a.m. to about 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Had some stuff with SA Live and then straight to work after that.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Okay, well, I think it's I can relate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, 8 to 6. 8 to 6 feels like forever when you're with the little ones.
Okay, well, I guess we can get started. Welcome, everybody. Okay. I'm so excited for our first live Nannypreneurship interview. Woo-hoo! And yes. So tonight we have Jada Pickett, and I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself.
Oh, you're... well, you introduced me all nice and fancy and stuff. I'm like, I'm just Jada Detroit, now living in Texas. But yeah, I'm Jada Pickett. I'm a nanny as well. I've been in the nanny industry for, like childcare industry in general, 13 years. Nanny industry, 10 years. I currently right now have a nanny position working with a beautiful little boy who I call Blue because when I first started working with him, everything in his closet was blue, different hues of blue. His eyes are blue, and so that's how he earned the nickname Blue. And yes, I own the Nanny Box. That before the Nanny Box, though, I started a small placement service called No Other Nanny, and since then, I started the Nanny Box. And the Nanny Box serves as one of the products of No Other Nanny. And in addition, with No Other Nanny, we do provide local services here in San Antonio, Texas. So it's a synopsis about me. I'm sure we'll get more in depth as the interview goes forward. I just don't want to be talking too much.
Oh no, you're good. That is your good. You are good. You are good. So tell us about the Nanny Box and how it came about, and the whole story.
Absolutely. So it's so funny. I've had my share of families that I've worked for that really didn't see the value of being a nanny. You know, the type of families that just kind of didn't really take the time to consider how much it took to raise children, and for children at that. You know, children that are born into wealth sometimes, and when you have families who can really just give them anything that they want. Sometimes they have a certain mentality and they forget that not everybody is raised like that. And that alone adds on to the challenges that come with raising children. And so I've had my families that I've worked for who didn't appreciate me. And then I worked for a family prior to this family that I currently work with who just went out of their way to let me know that they appreciated me. And you guys, I know you guys understand too what it means to just get a thank you literally from your employers. That random text message that you get about an hour or so after you've already been home from work that says, you know, thank you so much for all that you've done. And it's just those random gas gift cards that they give you, or those random car wash, you know, gift cards, things that correlate to your job that says, you know what, I understand. Like, my kids have been kicking in your car, also eating snacks in your car, and I appreciate you. And every single time that recognized, unexpected feeling of appreciation came upon me, it just motivated me to be the best nanny that I could be. I would do things that was not even in my job description. And that's where I got to really expand myself as a nanny, because I felt so appreciated that I just wanted to extend myself as much as possible. My loyalty for them grew. It became more than just a paycheck. It became more than a 1-year contract agreement, you know. And I remember it was right around the time that Birchbox, the beauty subscription sample box, came about, that I really was like, man, I'm sick and tired of going to Target or Hobby Lobby or any type of store and seeing a section for parents, a section for teachers, and a section for, you know, crafters, but not a section for caregivers, people who help families raise children. There's a lot of us out here. I mean, the numbers in just the US alone are in the millions. And so when another industry like the surprise subscription box came about, I was like, here we go again. No recognition, no appreciation for nannies. And I was like, what if I realized that if nannies felt more appreciated, they would do their job that much better, and they would stay longer, and they would build the confidence in themselves as well. And I didn't want to wait on another family to give me that sense of appreciation, or to give another nanny that appreciation, to send it to their doorstep themselves, you know. And that's where the nanny box came about. And it started off, it was interesting because I was actually a good nanny friend of mine, who I'm still really great friends with today. She's now actually a mom. It's crazy, that transition. But at the time, we had, our charges were the same age. And so we used to meet up every week, and we would do lesson planning for our children. So we have these big, huge themes for the kids. And I remember all of our discussions would always kind of relate around talking about the struggles that we go through as nannies, as well as the different craft ideas. And so I mentioned to her, I said, hey, I have this idea about sending a box of appreciation to nannies. What do you think about it? And she thought it was a great idea. And I just loved her whimsical mind and her Mary Poppins imagination that she had. And I really wanted to incorporate at the time something that involved children. And so it started off as 50% serving children and then 50% serving nannies. A few months into it, though, unfortunately, she got really ill. And, you know, sometimes with certain sicknesses that you kind of go through during that season, it prevents you from being able to do your job. And so I took it, we came to the agreement that I would, you know, carry the ship from that point on. And through my rebranding purpose, I really sat down and I was like, you know, I want this message to be clear, because through interactions with other nannies, I was realizing that because it was a subscription-based business at the time, it was a monthly service, people were confusing it. They were thinking that it was another surprise box. So the first thing that they were looking for were products to sample or products from different businesses. And that's a great thing to look for, because I think with those surprise boxes, you end up being so surprised by some of the unique items that you didn't even know existed before. But that wasn't just what I wanted. I wanted to picture a nanny coming home after a long day at work. I'm talking about coming home after you have went swimming with those kids all day long, then went to the grocery store for that family, then helped meal prep for them, then helped the kids with the homework, got them ready for bed, and then finally clocked off work, only to just cook probably for an hour for yourself, only to go back to sleep and wake up and do it all over again. I wanted that nanny coming home to a box that was beautiful, that had their name on it, and opening it up, being able to see inside something that's had them in mind. Things that weren't just something that people just thought was cute, but stuff that, like a book that we all related to from another story from a nanny, or jewelry that made you feel beautiful and motivated you to take time out for yourself and go out when you're not working. Because oftentimes, because we do work so hard, on those days off, all we want to do is sleep in, watch Netflix and eat popcorn. And trust me, I do love those days. But then there are those times where we do need to get with our girls, whether they're our nannies, our nanny friends, or our cousins and sisters, parents, whatever. We need to have something to motivate us to get out and take time for ourselves, because self-care, you preach about this a lot too, is always the best care. And so, yeah, that's where the came into. And so recently we've been in a I won't say rebranding phase, but more of a phase where we're opening up the opportunity for expanding for other merchandise to be welcomed into No Other Nanny as well. And the nanny box is not a monthly subscription anymore. They're packages. So you guys will see different themed packages that relate to maybe a beginner nanny, someone who's just entered into the field, and then a seasoned nanny who's been doing this 10 years. And then also nannies who may not be that interested into beauty and things like that, but more so maybe interested in fitness related products or holistic related products, or maybe nannies who love cooking and things like that. All in all, the product, the box is going to make you feel special, but it's also going to have products that you're going to actually appreciate and love. And you will too, as a bonus, be introduced to some products that you may or may not have been introduced to before. So yeah.
It's nice. And you said something interesting. You said in the beginning you were with families where you weren't treated so well. What advice would you give a nanny who's dealing with that right now?
Gosh. Okay. So it's crazy, because I almost want to say that sometimes those experiences are necessary, because had I not worked for that family, I don't think I would have been so firm in my work as a nanny. And I think that it's almost like a relationship sometimes. Like, you know, when you go through a bad breakup and, you know, you kind of second guess yourself, and then you go through that phase where you surround yourself around people who support you and uplift you, and you finally, you know, one day you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, I am worth so much more, you know. And it was interesting working for that family specifically. I kind of sort of got a job promotion. I started off as their weekend nanny, and then their weekday nanny actually got pregnant. And so the position was offered to me, and I was excited. I was in the beginning of my nanny career, and I was excited to be able to be the assistant and also the nanny and have all these different hats that I wore. And so I also was excited for that promotion, that $ promotion too. And I didn't get it. I actually got a pay cut. And that was the biggest look. Yeah, I just didn't understand it. And what they were doing at the time was paying me by salary. And so that's why my pay got cut, because my hours increased. And I worked well over those hours, making the same amount of money. And I do not recommend anybody get paid by salary. It's not only illegal, but it's a way for, the thing is, when you're a nanny, sometimes it can be viewed as beneath the people you work for, because you're working in the home for the wealthy and the rich. And they have this, not everybody, because my bosses are amazing, and I know you have amazing bosses, and I know that there are a lot of nannies who work for families who recognize your worth. But oftentimes it's assumed that we're beneath these families, and they do take advantage of that. It's one of those things, like, if you don't mention it, they may not bring it up. And so you've got to, knowledge is definitely power in this industry. And so it's very important to do your research. We have so many resources at our tips, from the Nanny Love to Nanny Tees. You don't just sell t-shirts, Stephanie. I mean, look at what you're doing with Nannypreneurship Lab. I mean, but just even the questions that you're asking on Nanny Tees, sparking that conversation to educate and uplift people, to confirm things that we were curious about in the beginning. And so people that are experiencing these situations where you know you should be getting paid more and you're being quote unquote taken advantage of, always write down what it is you're doing, what kind of experience you had. And it's not always experience. Let me tell you, just because you've only been in the field for 3 years and you know your worth sooner than somebody who's been in the field for 10 years, that not knock somebody for knowing their worth way sooner. It took me 8 years to realize how much more worth I was. How much further in my life, possibly in my career, would I have gone if I really would have recognized it back then? And so writing down, what you do, your duties, your responsibilities, what you need to make. I think the most important thing is, what do you need to be taking home? What do you need to be paying your bills? This is not some, we call it a labor of love. Yes, it is. We do this out of love. You definitely need to have love for this industry to really be able to do it. But this is something that we are doing to pay our bills. This is our livelihood. We're working heavy hours. And so it's no point in breaking your back, working 50, 60 hours a week when you're not getting paid enough to even pay your own bills. And that's the biggest thing, and these are mature conversations. Your bosses wouldn't be doing what they were doing if it wasn't paying their bills. That's why they are where they are,
That's good.
And because we have so many sisterhoods, like what you and I have put out, like International Nanny Society, all the Facebook groups that we have, the Nanny Love, the Nannyhood. Forgive me, anybody that's in this group that I have not mentioned, because I see you guys all and I am so inspired by all of you guys. But use these resources. They're here. They weren't here when we were here 10 years ago. They really weren't. We were just kind of quiet and silent. A lot of agency owners are taking it upon themselves to really advocate for nannies. They weren't doing that back then, and not a lot of them. They were not, and that's actually what inspired me to start my service, because there was no advocate. In fact, the family I worked for that was taking advantage of me, I was placed through an agency, and I went to my placement provider to complain, not to necessarily complain, but to really talk to them about what was going on. They didn't advocate for me. They didn't step in on my behalf. I didn't learn all of this the hard way. Unfortunately, I let that job go because they didn't see my worth. And that's the hardest thing, because you get attached to those kids no matter if you get paid what you're worth or if you're getting paid underneath. The connection and love that you have for these kids never go away. So please always connect with your resources, just to make sure, you're not developing an ego saying you should be getting paid like $8 an hour or something like that. But, connect with your network, because you could be working for a job when you could be applying for something else that could provide for you and also give you much more joy and peace. So, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So you said that you started your own placement service. So how was that going?
It's amazing. It's crazy because, like I said, I started that before the nanny box. That kind of organically happened. For those of you who can't tell, I'm Black. I always play around like that because I worked in an area where it was very easy for people to be able to assume I was the nanny. So that developed a lot of conversation, actually, because people saw that, at the time when I was working for that family, not the family that took advantage of me, but a different family at the time, nannies weren't going out and being active with the kids. They were more so in the house, kind of cleaning and taking care of the kids. It was more of a domestic in-house type of position. And listen, I'm not working for nobody that does not let me explore the town. One of the benefits having a nanny is being able to have someone to take your child out to explore and go to the museum and the park and the zoo and things like that. And so anyway, it started because families were recognizing that I was a nanny. They were asking for me to care for them on the side, also asking for referrals. And my bosses, who are lawyers, they were like, you're kind of, doing a little bit of matchmaking, being the little middleman. And they knew that was ultimately some type of profession I wanted to pursue as an entrepreneur later on down the line. It just so happened that they were able to set me up legally wise to actually start it. And so it was very bootstrapped. boutique. And it still has been boutique because, you know, even starting the Nanny Box and my placement service, they never were out of the intention to necessarily make money. I mean, everybody wants to be compensated for the services that they provide, but I was employed. I was already working. I was already being able to provide for myself. So these were definitely things that I was starting because I was trying to provide a solution to a problem that I saw in my area. Every area can be slightly different. We can be similar, but in San Antonio, Texas, these were the kind of issues we were facing at that time.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we've seen all the posts where you are on SA Live. So tell us about that. How did you get involved with being a TV personality?
Oh my gosh. Like, okay, let me back up. Every answer that I have is going to be God because literally
Yeah.
it has. Like, I don't have no connection with the news, you know, and it's pretty funny how that happened. I was actually talking with someone who started a small business in San Antonio, and they were telling me that they went on SA Live to advertise. And I thought to myself, like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I'd never even considered TV for an outlet of advertising my services. And so I happened to have known someone who worked for our news network here, KSAT, is it's an ABC affiliated network that SA Live is shown on. And so at the time, I just took a leap and asked, hey, I'm interested in advertising my new company, the Nanny Box that I've started, and I'd love to get some info on rates and things like that. And long story short, she was like, I don't think they'd be interested in something like that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, okay. And I remember when I felt like that door was closed because I felt like she was my only resource of connecting me with someone in the network. So I took it upon myself to make my first Facebook ad. And I think I paid like $10 or $20. And I chose the one where it said, advertise on your friends pages too. And the next day I got a phone call from the booking producer for the show, SA Live, and said, I get a call, and I normally don't answer phone calls from numbers that I don't recognize because everyone's trying to advertise something these days. So I didn't answer. Well, I wasn't going to answer, but something told me to answer. So I did. I said hello, and they were like, looking for Jada Pickett with the Nanny Box. And I was like, that sounded really like I've just been established or something. I was like, this is she. And long story short, they proposed to me the opportunity to advertise on there. And the cost of it was way out of my budget. I mean, we're just starting, we're new, you know what that means. And so I'm going to have to pass at the time, but I look forward to possibly being able to explore this opportunity in the future. She passed my story, is what they call it, on to her head executive producer. And she called me, offered me a free slot for about a few minutes on air to advertise it. Long story short, that went great. They found out I was a nanny, and they were like, wow, we would really love a nanny perspective to come on air on our show and, you know, kind of share some tips. And that was almost 2 years ago. And so now I go on there every single month, and I love it. They're fun. I love that it's a local network here that really takes the time to recognize the value, again, of this industry. I hope to do it on a larger scale, but I'm just grateful for being able to do it here in my own backyard.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, do you see yourself kind of going, national?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to shout, celebrate nanny life to the rooftop, you know, and I love TV. I feel like a big purpose of mine is to kind of share effortless strategies in life in general to a large audience in a big way. And thank God for technology because of TV and Facebook like this, we're able to connect with such a larger audience. So I would love to exercise that one day on a larger scale.
Nice. Okay, so can you give us 2 to 3 tips for those of us who are nannies or who want to be business owners or who are business owners? Tell us something that kind of helped you on the way or something that you wish you would have known when starting your business.
Oh my goodness. I would say in the beginning, really take the time to understand who you want to be identified as a brand and business, and understand and actually to take the time to figure out why you're doing this, you know, because your why, my mentor tells me this all the time, your why is going to be the only thing you have to motivate you to keep going when times are tough, when people have negative things to say, when, you know, just when things aren't looking up. And then your why is also going to be the thing that just cheers you on too when you are, you know, celebrating victories as well. So really establish why you're doing this. And I'm going to say for sure, if it's just to make some money, that's going to be, it's not stable enough, because there's a lot of things that can make money. Let's see, another tip I would say in the beginning with starting this business is to really kind of exercise the groups that we have, and really kind of do like a soft focus group. Kind of ask people, what are some things that you guys feel like are lacking in the industry? What do you think is some of the biggest challenges in this industry? Because I think that, you know, if you can come up with a business that solves a problem, that's going to be the best thing, because then it's no longer a marketing scheme or anything like that. It's something that's truly has a bigger goal than to just make money. And let me tell you, if you plan on still working a full-time job while doing this, which I do recommend that you do until it can actually fund yourself as well, it's going to take a lot of time. Like, there's going to be a lot of times where you're not going to be able to be social. If you're in a relationship, you're going to really have to talk up to your significant other or your husband or wife about, you know, what it is that you want to do, because there's going to be times where you're not going to be able to cook dinner at night. And the time is the biggest thing. And I guess I could say for the third thing is to really don't be afraid to show your face. Like, I feel like for me as a consumer, I fall in love with the companies that actually show their face on social media, take the time to do things like this that we're doing. It's very genuine. I think that it helps with people understanding the heart behind your company and the passion that you have for something like this. And I think that taking advantage of that and really just kind of, you know, getting on here, sitting in the car and telling people like, hey, I'm about to clock in to my nanny job. Like, I love stories when you were like, I'm sitting in my car, I'm getting ready to go to work, but this is my time where I just kind of woo-saw, because I'm like, that's me in the morning where I'm like, all right, today's going to be a good day, regardless if we have tantrums or not. So really take the time to be genuine and don't be afraid. Don't hide behind your brand. I think those would be my 3 tips.
Awesome. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, be sure to type them at the bottom so that we can answer them. And while people are getting their questions together, I wanted to announce the winner. We had a giveaway on Nannypreneurship for a free class for business taxes. And that's so important if you're in business, that you have to get all the legal stuff together. It is, it's some work, but it's worth it. You want to have it right. So congratulations to Nakia Robinson, who is the winner of the giveaway. Yay! Woo! So I will send you a message. I'll send you an email and give you all the information so you can enroll in the class. So thank you so much to everybody who has participated, and we'll have more giveaways soon. So let's see if we have any questions. Nobody has any questions yet? Yay! Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue. I guess
you're welcome, Nakia.
While we're waiting, welcome. I just want to take the time to tell you, well, first, hold on. What other types of advertising did you do besides television? Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, Facebook and just networking within the nanny community, as well as with my employers. So I am not a believer in paying for a lot of like digital type of ads. I'm the type of person that likes to get out there and socialize. If you have a wearable brand, wear your brand to start conversations. If you're in your car a lot, like a lot of us nannies we are, get you a magnet that you could put on your car. That's good advertisement as well. What's another thing? I think giveaways are really great ways to kind of get yourself out there. If you have a product or service that you're offering that you can collaborate with another business, I think that that's something that you should exercise as well, because the whole purpose is you want to get your product in front of as many people who are in your market as possible. So there's a ton of free ways to advertise with your business. And of course, Instagram, because it's my company is very visually based. So yeah.
And speaking of products, can you tell us about the new products you have coming out? Or that are actually already?
Yes. And we're collaborating on some of them too. So we recently just kind of had more apparel lines that we've connected with some of our fun taglines that people, you're welcome. Thanks for asking, Angie. Can I call you Angie? Come over, Angie.
We family.
yeah, so we have t-shirts and like I mentioned too about the packages that we are developing. I think that's going to be really great because it's going to help with helping with celebrating the diversity that we have within our nanny community. And I mean, just within our professions alone, we have so many different types of nannies. And so, yes, I agree. Giving out samples is a good way to advertise as well. So if you have a product where you do samples, definitely do that as well. And the t-shirts, I'm wearing one of them now. This is more of our relaxed tee. It says, it's our slogan, where there's a nanny, there is a way. And I firmly believe that. We are problem solvers. Like, every time I say that quote, I'm like, we're the people that like makes life happen for a lot of our employers. Like, if we didn't show up to work, it's not like we have a ton of people to fill in for us. You know, things just kind of crumble if we don't show up. So where there's a nanny, there's a way. But apparel, I want us in the next like 5 years to be a full-fledged lifestyle brand for nannies. Of course, I'm going to continue collaborating and working with other small businesses, future large businesses in the nanny community. I think that's one of the reasons what I love about you, Stephanie. You're such a person of, you have a heart of collaboration. You're all about women empowerment and supporting each other. And, you know, I think that has something to say about people who are intimidated or don't believe in competition, because supporting and uplifting each other is the biggest form of marketing, in my personal opinion, because it's true.
Yeah.
And, it just brings us together. There's enough out there for everybody. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Someone said, sorry, I missed the beginning. What products you sell? Oh, we were talking about the nanny box and the apparel items that I have. So right now we have t-shirts, and then we have the gift packaging service that sells appreciation to nannies. So they're products that make nannies feel special, but also they have resources in there as well. Recently, we had in one of our boxes memberships to the International Nanny Association, which is a big, really great resource for the nanny industry and for employers and agencies as well. So this is just a snippet into some of the things that I sell.
Awesome. And can you give us your websites and all your handles? And
so noothernanny.com is the website. And then our Instagram handle is still the nanny box on Instagram. And my personal Instagram is Jada R. Pickett. Pickett. A lot of people always think I'm saying Pinkett, so I always have to say Pickett. Like Jada R. Pickett.
Awesome. Are there any more questions?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so if there's no more questions, give us a final statement. Encourage us. Something that you know just need to hear.
You guys are worth so much. I remember my dad telling me, I was crying one time, guys, because I just was like at a point, like I think it was probably 7 years ago. I was just crying to my dad, and I was like, I love nannying, and I don't think I can find a job that will pay me what I need to make. And my dad was like, no. And then I was crying about that, and then I got offered a job that was going to pay me really well. And I was I think you guys probably have experienced this too, where you feel so loyal to your family that you feel afraid to leave and move on. First of all, that is okay. You know, you should never feel bad for wanting to elevate yourself in your career. I know that this is such an intimate job, and we become like family with the families that we work with. And so when it comes to kind of growing and stretching in our careers, we kind of feel a little like, the loyalty is so real on this end. We feel guilt, but never feel ashamed for wanting to advance in your career and going after to something that you're worth. Because my dad told me what we do is worth so much. Nobody, not even the richest person on the planet, would be able to pay us truly what we're worth. So you might as well get paid at a premium level, because this is a premium service. You know, everybody needs child care, but they don't need a nanny. They need child care, but they don't need a nanny. This is a luxury service, it's a premium. Just like everybody needs transportation, not everybody needs a Mercedes. Only to those who can actually afford and understand the value in what and can afford the value in that service, you know, what we provide. And so you guys are worth so much. So I just want every single day when you go into your job, even on the days that you make a mistake, do not feel less than. because you're not perfect, but your imperfections don't make you less valuable. There is not no one, and the longer you stay a nanny, the more valuable you become. Never let somebody tell you what you're worth. Never let someone make you feel like this job is not as valuable as those corporate America suit and tie career, jobs. And since this is the Nannypreneurship Lab, if you guys are thinking about starting a business, having something on your heart, please go with that fire, because I promise you, if the fire is burning for you to start something, whether it's an agency, whether it's another an apparel line, a lifestyle line, whether it's whatever is burning in your heart, go with it, because God gives us the desires of our heart. It's there for a reason, and people are missing out on the solution that you have burning inside of your heart to provide for them. So, exercise your resources. You're valuable. I love you guys, and let's just stay connected, because that's what we need in this industry for sure.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so encouraged. That's awesome. Yay. And so your website's one more time.
NoOtherNanny.com, and my Instagram, The Nanny Box, and then Jada R. Pickett at Jada R. Pickett at Jada R. Pickett on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been such a blessing. Welcome. We definitely have to have you back, because I feel like there's going to be more of your story that's going to be written. So I cannot wait to see what God does and how much He elevates you sooner than later.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Because this is, like you said, there's so many questions that we have, when it comes to starting a business. And so you having this Nannypreneurship Lab, oh my gosh, you're about to kill it. And just thank you, everybody, for taking out your time, because I know that you guys are getting off work. So just thank you for taking the time to listen to me, because I'm long-winded, and I just appreciate you guys. And I hope that it touched any of you guys in any way and answered any of your questions or concerns. And feel free to message me, or whatever you guys would like to. And
awesome. Can you write the website?
Write the website down. That's
okay.
So smart. I'm gonna write it down right now, because that's so smart. That's a question I would ask. I was like, awesome. Did you write that? Because I don't know what you're saying, girl.
Oh, okay. Now you can write now. Okay, so I'm still figuring all this out. Okay.
Yeah. Hey. We texting and talking. This is I
love it.
Technology.
Oh, thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'm going to figure out how to save this and send this out, because there are a lot of people who need to hear what you said. So sorry, my little pen is all over the place.
No, I love your pen.
Thank you, girl.
That's not even a pen. This is lip liner. Look, y'all, I had lip liner on deck, in case, the lip
Listen, you never know.
I can look all the way crazy on here, but this is nanny life. Yes.
All right, guys. So thank you. Y'all have a good night. And thanks again, Jada. We love you. I appreciate you so much.
Yes. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.